What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the very heart of your engine, the unsung hero that keeps everything pumping in perfect rhythm. I'm talking about the timing system. Think of it like the conductor of an orchestra. Your engine's crankshaft is spinning like a wild drum solo, and the camshafts need to open and close the valves at the exact right millisecond to let air and fuel in, and exhaust out. If that timing is off by even a fraction, your engine runs rough, loses power, or worse, catastrophic failure. It's the timing system's job to be that perfect link, ensuring the symphony under your hood plays a beautiful song of horsepower. So, how do car makers achieve this critical synchronization? Well, they don't just use one method. There are a few different flavors of timing systems out there, each with its own personality, its own pros, and its own cons. It's a classic engineering showdown, a battle for mechanical supremacy that's been raging for decades. It's a story of compromise, innovation, and sometimes spectacular engine-destroying failure. It's a tale that every car enthusiast should know because what's under that timing cover can tell you a lot about your car's character and what it needs from you to keep running strong. In this video, we're going to put the three main contenders under the microscope. First up, we've got the quiet and unassuming timing belt. Then, we'll get into its tougher, noisier cousin, the timing chain. And finally, we'll look at the absolute heavyweight champion of durability, the timing gear drive. We're going to break down what they are, how they work, why engineers choose one over the other, and most importantly, what it means for you, the owner. So buckle up because we're about to get in sync with engine timing. Let's go. Alright, let's kick things off with the timing belt. Picture this. It's the 1960s, and automakers are on a quest to make cars smoother, quieter, and cheaper to build. The German company GLA was one of the first to really run with this idea on their new overhead cam engines. The solution they landed on was a revelation, a belt made of high-strength rubber, kind of like a supersized version of the accessory belts you see on the front of your engine. This isn't just any old rubber though, it's a composite material, usually a highly durable synthetic rubber like neoprene or hydrogenated nitrile butadiene rubber, HNBR for short, reinforced with high tensile fibers like fiberglass or aramid, which is the same stuff used in body armor. It's got teeth on the inside that mesh perfectly with sprockets on the crank and camshafts. Unlike its metallic counterparts, the timing belt lives on the outside of the engine block, usually tucked away behind a plastic or thin metal cover. This is a huge deal for manufacturing and maintenance. It means you don't need a sealed, lubricated chamber for it. The belt runs dry, and its rubber construction acts as a natural dampener, absorbing vibrations and making for a significantly quieter and smoother running engine. If you've ever stood next to two similar cars, one with a belt and one with a chain, you can often literally hear the difference. The belt-driven car will have a much softer, less metallic hum coming from the front of the engine. The advantages are pretty clear, especially for your daily driver. First and foremost, they are cheap to make and cheap to install at the factory, which helps keep the final sticker price of the car down. That quietness we just talked about is a massive plus for luxury cars and economy cars alike, contributing to a more refined driving experience. They're also incredibly lightweight, which reduces rotational inertia. In the world of engine design, less weight is almost always a good thing, as it allows the engine to rev more freely and can even offer a tiny improvement in fuel efficiency. It's a simple, effective, and cost-conscious solution. But, and this is a huge but, rubber doesn't last forever. That's the timing belt's Achilles heel. Over time, the rubber degrades from heat, oil contamination, and just plain old age. Those reinforcing fibers can stretch and weaken. The teeth can shear off. This means timing belts are a scheduled maintenance item. Most manufacturers recommend replacing them somewhere between 60,000 and 100,000 miles. Ignore this, at your peril. If a belt snaps while the engine is running, the pistons can slam into the valves that are now stuck open, a catastrophic event known as engine interference. The result? Bent valves, damaged pistons, and a repair bill that will make you cry. Because of this trade-off between cost, quietness, and that critical lifespan, you'll find timing belts in a massive range of vehicles. They were incredibly popular from the 1980s through the early 2000s. Think about your classic Honda Civics, Volkswagen Golfs, and many everyday sedans and hatchbacks. They provided a great balance for mass-market passenger cars where refinement and cost were bigger priorities than ultimate, long-term durability. The key for any owner is knowing you have one, and respecting that replacement interval like it's a sacred text. Now let's get into the heavy metal. If the timing belt is the quiet, budget-friendly option, the timing chain is its tougher, more rugged, and let's be honest, louder older brother. A timing chain is exactly what it sounds like. It's a metal chain, very similar in concept to a bicycle chain but built to withstand the much more extreme environment inside an engine. You'll see different styles, from the classic roller chain to the more modern and quieter silent or inverted tooth chains, which are designed for better contact with the sprockets. These chains connect the crankshaft to the camshafts, just like a belt, but with one major difference in location. Unlike a belt which runs dry outside the engine, a timing chain is located inside the engine, typically behind a main timing cover that's sealed to the engine block. This is because the chain needs constant lubrication to survive. It gets bathed in the same engine oil that lubricates everything else, which is why your oil quality and oil level are super critical for the health of a timing chain system. This internal location makes it an integral part of the engine's core assembly, a far cry from the external easily accessible belt. This design choice speaks volumes about its intended purpose: longevity. The number one pro of a timing chain is durability. In theory, a well-designed, well-maintained timing chain should last the entire life of the engine. There's no rubber to degrade, no fibers to stretch and snap. This is a huge selling point for consumers who don't want to worry about a massive service bill for a belt replacement every few years. This robustness also makes chains the go-to choice for high performance and heavy-duty applications. The high torque of a diesel engine or the high RPM of a sports car engine would shred a rubber belt in no time, but a steel chain can handle that stress day in and day out. But that strength comes with its own set of compromises. For one, they're noisier. That metal-on-metal contact between the chain and the sprockets creates a distinct whirring or humming sound that a belt just doesn't have. Engineers use plastic or nylon guides and hydraulic tensioners to keep the chain taut and quiet it down. But these components can, ironically, become weak points and wear out over time. And while the chain itself might last forever, if a guide breaks or a tensioner fails, the chain can slap around, jump a tooth, and cause the same catastrophic engine damage as a snapped belt. And replacement? It's a much more expensive, labor-intensive job that involves tearing into the front of the engine. So where do you find these workhorses? Everywhere, really. They were the standard before belts became popular, and they've made a huge comeback in recent years as automakers push for lifetime components. Most trucks and SUVs use them. Many modern four-cylinders from brands like Honda and Toyota, who previously loved belts, have switched back to chains. And of course, they are the undisputed king in high-performance V8s and German luxury cars. Think of a Ford F-150, a Toyota Camry, or a BMW M3. All of them rely on the strength and longevity of a timing chain to keep their high-tech engines singing. Okay, we've talked about rubber and we've talked about chains. Now it's time for the final boss of timing systems, the timing gear drive. Forget flexible belts and chains. We are talking about pure, direct gear-on-gear action. Imagine two or more heavy-duty, precision-machined steel or aluminum gears meshing directly with each other. One gear is mounted on the end of the crankshaft, and it directly drives another gear on the camshaft, or it drives an intermediate idler gear, which then drives the cam gear or gears. There is absolutely no slack, no stretch, no flex. It is the most direct and mechanically pure way to transfer rotation from the crank to the cam. This is old-school, heavy-duty engineering at its finest. The gears are typically housed inside the engine just like a timing chain, and are lubricated by engine oil. The materials used are incredibly robust. We're talking hardened steel, billet aluminum, or sometimes even bronze for specific applications like the idler gears. The teeth on these gears can be cut in different ways. Straight-cut gears are the strongest and simplest, but produce a very characteristic high-pitched whine that is instantly recognizable to any gearhead. Helical cut gears have angled teeth that engage more smoothly, making them significantly quieter, but they also produce axial thrust, which has to be managed by the engine's bearings. The benefits here are all about precision and indestructibility. A gear drive offers the absolute most accurate and stable valve timing possible. There is zero chain stretch or belt flex to account for, so the timing you set is the timing you get, period. This is critical in ultra-high-performance racing engines where fractions of a degree in cam timing can mean the difference between winning and losing. And durability? Forget about it. A properly made gear drive will outlive the engine, the car, and probably you. It is practically immune to the failures that plague belts and chains. There's nothing to snap, nothing to stretch, and no plastic guides to fail. So if they're so great, why don't all cars have them? Well, for starters, that signature whine of straight-cut gears might sound awesome in a race car, but it would drive the average commuter insane on their way to work. Even the quieter helical gears are noisier than a chain. They are also incredibly heavy. All that solid metal adds a lot of rotational mass and weight to the front of the engine, which is the enemy of efficiency and nimble engine response. And the cost? Machining these precision gears is far more expensive than stamping out sprockets and making a chain or molding a rubber belt. Because of this extreme trade-off, ultimate durability and precision at the cost of noise, weight, and expense, timing gears are reserved for the most demanding applications on the planet. You'll find them in hardcore, purpose-built drag racing engines, big-rig semi-truck diesel engines that need to run for 1,000,000 miles, and some legendary production engines like the gear-driven cams in Honda's VFR sport bikes. It's a no-compromise solution for when good enough simply won't do, and failure is not an option is the design motto. It's pure raw mechanical perfection. Mechanical. So there you have it, the belt, the chain, and the gears. As we've seen, there's no single best system. It's all a classic engineering balancing act. The quiet, lightweight, and affordable timing belt is perfect for the refined and cost-sensitive world of many passenger cars, but it demands respect in the form of regular maintenance. The tough and durable timing chain has become the modern workhorse, offering a lifetime solution that's well-suited for everything from economical commuters to high-strung performance engines, as long as its guides and tensioners hold up. And the mighty gear drive remains the king of precision and outright strength, the choice for when you need to guarantee timing accuracy under the most extreme conditions imaginable. Each system has a personality, a set of strengths and weaknesses that the engineers chose specifically for that vehicle's intended purpose. A quiet belt for a luxury sedan makes sense, a tough chain for a work truck makes sense, a screaming gear drive for a top-fuel dragster makes sense. Understanding which one is in your car is the first step to understanding its long-term needs. It's a key piece of your car's mechanical identity, and knowing it helps you become a better, more informed owner, which is what this channel is all about. So, what's the big takeaway for you? Go pop the hood, grab your owner's manual, or do a quick search online and find out what you've got. If you have a timing belt, find out that recommended service interval and write it down on your calendar. If you have a timing chain, make sure you're using high-quality oil and changing it on time, because that chain's life depends on it. Knowing your car is loving your car. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you learned something today, and we'll see you on the next one.